العلم أشراف مطلوب وطالبه لله أكرام من يمشي على قدم. العلم نور مبين يستضيء به أهل السعادات والجهال في الظلم.
وصلى الله وسلم على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وسيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. So let's recap on some of the Shubuhaat and the misconceptions that we studied and their responses. So I will mention... So let's recap inshallah. I will mention the Shubha, okay? And then I will choose a student and you can respond to the Shubha from what you've learned, okay? So the first Shubha is, if a mushrik says to you, نحن لا نشرك بالله شيئا, we do not commit any shirk. All we do is we testify that there is none who created except Allah, that Allah is the sole provider, that He gives life, that He takes away life, He is the maintainer of the universe. لا ينفع ولا يضر إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. Okay? And I also testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam has no power over the dominion, let alone Abdul Qadir. However, I am a sinner. I constantly sin. And these righteous salihun, such as Abdul Qadir al-Jilani and the Prophet Muhammad, obviously being the foremost, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, all I am doing is I am seeking a status in the sight of Allah. They have a status in the sight of Allah, and I am only seeking Allah through them. Okay, so for brothers, who's gonna respond to that shubha? Many yujib from the brothers. Naam, Ismail.
The mushrikun of Quraysh, they believed that Allah was the Khaliq and the Raziq and the control of all the affairs and the one that gives life and one that takes death.
Mm-hmm.
But they only sought refuge or worshipped the idols because in order to get closer to Allah.
Naam, ahsant, very good response. So everything you are telling me, O mushrik, is the same thing that the mushrikun did. They worshipped these idols, they worshipped these righteous people in order to come close to Allah. Yet the Prophet still, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he fought them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made takfir of them. Okay? Then, sisters, he responds to you. And he says, these verses that you are reciting on me, they were revealed with regards to those who worship statues and idols. And I do not worship statues and idols. So how can you make the salihun, the righteous, similar to statues and idols? What is your response, sisters? Who's going to respond?
The Prophet didn't discriminate against those who worship idols and those who worship awliya. He fought against one of them.
Ahsant, very good response. Naam. And the Shaykh, he cites as an evidence a verse in Surah Al-Isra, brothers. Do you remember this verse? أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ يبتغون إلى ربهم الوسيلة أيهم أقرب ويرجون رحمته ويخافون عذابه إن عذاب ربك كان محذورا. Sisters, what is this verse discussing? Who can explain this verse? أولئك الذين يدعون يبتغون إلى ربهم الوسيلة. So the response that the sister just gave, this verse just emphasizes that response. Very good. Ahsant. Naam. That's the answer. Naam. طيب. Then we move on to the next shubha. If he says to you, brothers, if the mushrik says to you, the disbelievers, the kuffar, they are worshipping these idols, they're worshipping these salihun, yuriduna minhum al-naf'a wal-dhur, because they are seeking from them benefit, and they are seeking refuge from a dhur, from some evil. Okay? And I testify that Allah, He is the nafi' and He is the dar. He is the one who can benefit and He is the one who can bring harm. Okay? He is the one who maintains the affairs of this universe. Okay? And I know that the salihun, these righteous awliya, they have no they have no hand in the affairs of this universe. However, ana aqsuduhum, I am directing my attention towards them because I hope from Allah that He accepts their shafa'ah. I hope from Allah that He accepts their shafa'ah. So I am only seeking through them a shafa'ah. So brothers, how can we respond to this? No, تفضل.
Allah Azza wa Jalla says, قُلْ لِلَّهُ الشَّفَاعَةُ جَمِيعًا.
أحسنت. قُلْ لِلَّهِ. What does that mean?
All of the shafa'ah belongs to Allah, so we can't seek it from anyone other than Him.
Okay, that's one response. Can anyone else, brothers, add to this response? No, Ismail.
When they said, هؤلاء شفاعة هنا عند الله, these are interceding with Allah.
And they were still mushrikun. Sisters, can you add to this? Sorry? Naam, ahsan. So we weren't commanded to ask shafa'ah from them, but we were commanded to ask shafa'ah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because قُلْ لِلَّهِ شَفَاعَةُ جَمِيعًا, indeed all of shafa'ah belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب. If he says to you, sisters, أَنَا لَا أَعْبُدُ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, I only worship Allah, and this iltija, and this me turning towards them, and me directing my attention towards them, and my dua to them, my supplication of them, is not ibadah, is not worship. How would you respond to this?
You ask them what they mean by dua, and if they admit that dua is worship, then they also admit that what they're doing is shirk.
Naam. So we ask them first and foremost, we say to them first, from this question, it's apparent that they do not know what ibadah is. It's very clear that they don't know what ibadah is. Okay? So the first thing we ask them is, do you testify or do you acknowledge that Allah is the one who has made ikhlas or sincerity of worship wajib upon you? Okay, and this is wajib, something you have to do. What's he going to say? Of course he's going to say, na'am, yes. Okay? Then we ask this person, tell me this obligation. What is this obligation? What is ikhlasul ibadah lillah? Okay, what is it? Okay? Either he will tell you he will give you the correct answer, in which case he has refuted himself, or he will tell you an answer that is wrong, in which case you will teach him the correct response and answer. Okay? So let's begin today's lesson. So the Musannif rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, فَإِنْ قَالَ أَنَا لَا أُشْرِكُ بِاللَّهِ شَيْئًا. If he says, أَنَا لَا أُشْرِكُ, so this is the latest shubha, okay? أَنَا لَا أُشْرِكُ بِاللَّهِ شَيْئًا. I do not associate partners with Allah. حَاشَا وَكَلَّا. يعني subhanallah, how can I do this? وَلَكِنَّ الْإِلْتِجَاءَ إِلَى الصَّالِحِينَ لَيْسَ بِشِرْكٍ. However, me turning my attention towards the salihun, لَيْسَ بِشِرْكٍ, is not considered shirk. فَقُلْ لَهُ, then say to him, إذا كنت تقر أن الله حرم الشرك أعظم من تحريم الزنا. إذا كنت تقر, if you acknowledge. Okay, so do you all understand the shubha? Yeah? What is he asking? What is he asking? What is he asking, brothers? What is the shubha? تفضل شيخ اقترب. No. What is he asking?
you repeat the shubha?
Okay, he's saying أنا لا أشرك بالله شيئا حاشا وكلا ولكن الالتجاء إلى الصالحين ليس بشرك. He's saying I do not commit any shirk. Okay, I do not commit any shirk. However, me turning my attention towards the salihun shouldn't be considered shirk. That's what he's saying. Do you understand the shubha? Yes? Okay, so he's denying the fact that he is committing any shirk. Okay? So this iltija that he is doing, he doesn't consider it as a ibadah. So what's the response of the shaykh? He says, فَقُلْ لَهُ, then say to him, إِذَا كُنْتَ تُقِرُّ. So this is the response that the shaykh, rahimahullah ta'ala, is responding. This is his response to this shubha. He says, إِذَا كُنْتَ تُقِرُّ أَنَّ اللَّهَ حَرَّمَ الشِّرْكِ. If you acknowledge that Allah has made shirk haram, أَعْظَمَ مِنْ تَحْرِيمِ الزِّنَا. If you acknowledge that Allah has made shirk more impermissible than the impermissibility of zina, وَتُقِرُّ أَنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُهُ, and you acknowledge that Allah does not forgive shirk, فَمَا هَذَا الْأَمْرُ الَّذِي عَظَّمَهُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. So what is this thing in your head? What is this thing that Allah has made made very important for us to know? وَذَكَرَ أَنَّهُ لَا يَغْفِرُهُ, and that he has mentioned that he does not forgive the person who engages in this important thing. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَدْرِي. So chances are he won't know. Chances are he will not know. فَقُلْ لَهُ, then ask him. And so do you understand how we respond to him? So we say to him, so this person says, I don't commit any shirk. Okay? And what I am doing is not shirk. We respond to him by saying, okay, can you tell me this thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made more impermissible than zina itself? Can you tell me an act or a sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made more impermissible than zina itself? What is this? Okay? What do we call this thing? So the shaykh says, فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَدْرِي. Chances are he will not know. فَقُلْ لَهُ, then we respond to him by saying, كيف تبرئ نفسك من الشرك وأنت لا تعرفه. كيف تبرئ نفسك من الشرك. How can you absolve yourself from shirk? How can you free yourself from shirk? وأنت لا تعرفه. While you do not even know what it is. Do you understand the logic, brothers and sisters? In order for you to absolve yourself from something, you first have to know what that thing is. Okay? So if someone says, I am not this, and they do not know what this is, okay? Then this person, their statement is illogical. Do you understand? يعني كلامهم غير منطقي. كلامهم غير معقول. They do not even understand what shirk is. Are you all with me? طيب. Then we say to him, كيف يحرم الله عليك هذا ويذكر أنه لا يغفره ولا تسأل عنه ولا تعرفه. كيف يحرم الله عليك هذا. يعني we say to him, how can Allah make something, how can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make something haram upon you? And how can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mention that He will not forgive the person who engages in this thing? وَلَا تَسْأَلُ عَنْهُ, and you do not even ask about this. وَلَا تَعْرِفُهُ, and you do not even know what this is. أَتَظُنُّ أَنَّ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ يُحَرِّمُهُ هَذَا التَّحْرِيمُ وَلَا يُبَيِّنُهُ لَنَا. Do you think, can you fathom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make something haram and He won't clarify to us what this is? Do you understand? So this is like we are rebuking this person for being ignorant of this thing. Yani if you know now that someone told you there is a sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is something that Allah has made more impermissible than zina, something that if a person engages in, Allah will never forgive this person. Okay? You as a Muslim, as a believer, you will want to know what this thing is. You will want to find out everything you can about this thing. Sah? This is what you will be doing as a Muslim. So the fact that this person who's committing shirk has no idea what shirk is, although maybe they have a vague idea of shirk. They know it's something there that is impermissible, but they may not know its reality. Then clearly this person has fallen into a big error and a big mistake. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. يعني whoever turns away from my dhikr. هنا dhikr يعني علم, knowledge, the knowledge of al-halal wal-haram. Dhikr means Islam. Dhikr means everything that the person has to know in order for that person to be able to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the moment that they wake up to the moment that they go to sleep. So if a person turns away from this dhikr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes this person, as is mentioned in the verse, فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. This person will live a lowly life. وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. Ayat. Then, فَإِنْ قَالَ, then if he responds, if the mushrik responds and says, الشِّرْكُ عِبَادَةُ الْأَصْنَامِ وَنَحْنُ لَا نَعْبُدُ الْأَصْنَامِ. Okay? So if he objects to your statements and he says to you, shirk is just worshipping statues and idols. وَنَحْنُ لَا نَعْبُدُ الْأَصْنَامِ, and we do not worship statues or idols. Okay? So this is his response to you. What should you say to him? فَقُلْ لَهُ, then say to him, مَا مَعْنَا عِبَادَةِ الْأَصْنَامِ. So we do not need to even explain anything to him yet. We need to first, in order for us, remember, our objective here is not to disgrace or humiliate this person. Our objective is to guide this person with the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, بالرحمة, with mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said regarding the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَنْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. If you were harsh and you were tough towards them, لَنْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ, they would have left you, they would have dispersed from you. So, being merciful, even when you are engaging in someone who is committing shirk or bid'ah or whatever, is a way or a method of calling them to the haqq and calling them to the truth. So, without having to resort to telling or teaching this person first and foremost what shirk is, we first need to find out what their thought process is. We first need to know what's going on in their head of theirs. Okay? Because clearly this person thinks that shirk huwa munhasirun fi ibadat al-asnam. This person thinks that shirk is only worshipping statues, only worshipping idols. Because look, he's saying ash-shirku ibadat al-asnam. So he thinks that shirk is standing in front of a statue or an idol and prostrating yourself to that thing. Okay? So we find out and we say to him, مَا مَعْنَا عِبَادَةِ الْأَصْنَامِ. What do you mean by worshipping statues or idols? أَتَظُنُّ أَنَّهُمْ يَعْتَقِدُونَ أَنَّ تِلْكَ الْأَحْجَارِ وَالْأَخْشَابِ وَالْأَشْجَارِ تَخْلُقُ وَتَرْزُقُ وَتُدَبِّرُ أَمْرَ مَنْ دَعَاهَا فَهَذَا يُكَذِّبُهُ الْقُرْآنِ. Then we say to him, أَتَظُنُّ, do you think أَنَّهُمْ يَعْتَقِدُونَ أَنَّ تِلْكَ الْأَحْجَارِ, that they believe that these stones, وَالْأَخْشَابِ, these wooden statues, وَالْأَشْجَارِ, these trees, تَخْلُقُ, they create, وَتَرْزُقُ, they provide, وَتُدَبِّرُ أَمْرَ مَنْ دَعَاهَا, and that they will maintain the affairs of the person who supplicates to them. فَهَذَا, if this is what you think if this is what you think يعني عبادة الأصنام means, then فَهَذَا يُكَذِّبُهُ الْقُرْآنِ, then this is something that the Qur'an rejects. يعني this limitation, not, this obviously is a type of shirk itself, it's shirk fi rububiyyah. He's not saying that these, the belief in the fact that stones and statues and whatever and trees, the belief that they can create whatever, he's not saying that this isn't shirk. If a person does believe in these things, then this person has fallen into shirk fi rububiyyah. But what he is saying when he says فَهَذَا يُكَذِّبُهُ الْقُرْآنِ, he means that the belief that shirk is only limited to this, what I have just mentioned, is something that is rejected by the Quran. مفهوم هذا? Do you all understand this? Let me ask you now. Is shirk limited to the belief that the statues and the idols are maintainers of this universe? Is shirk only this, or there is more to shirk than this? There's more to shirk than this. This is just one portion of shirk. This is just one juz'iyah, one part of shirk. Okay? This person clearly believes that shirk, this is all of shirk. Do you understand? طيب. وإن قال, if he says, إنهم يقصدون خشبة, if he says, إنهم يقصدون خشبة أو حجرا أو بنية على قبر أو غيره يدعون ذلك ويذبحون له يقولون, if he says إنهم, يعني they, that he and his people يقصدون خشبة, that their intention is and attention is directed towards a wooden statue, أو حجرا, or a statue made of stone, أو بنية على قبر أو غيره, or a something that has been erected on a particular grave, يدعون ذلك, they prostrate to this, ويذبحون له, and they slaughter their animals in honor of these things that have been mentioned. يقولون, and they say, إنه يقربنا إلى الله زلفى, and then they say that these things that they make, that they bring us closer to Allah. ويدفع عنا الله عز وجل ببركته, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one who repels due to their blessing evil. ويعطينا ببركته, and Allah gives us blessings due to them. Okay? فقل صدقت, يعني if he says that this is what I believe in. مفهوم? Are you all with me? Who can just repeat this last bit? Sisters, can you repeat this last bit? What is he saying, this mushrik? It's very, very important that you understand the shubha. If you don't understand the shubha, you cannot understand the response to the shubha. Do you understand? So if you don't understand, just say, I don't understand. Okay? So sisters, what is he saying in this shubha?
Is he saying that that is what they believe, that they're seeking intercession from these idols, but they're doing it from no.
What do you think he's saying? Tell me what you think he's saying.
I think he's saying that we worship idols. Like, they actually
Okay, so worshipping idols. طيب. So what does he think shirk is, first and foremost? Brothers, what does he think shirk is? No.
It's only restricted to idol worship.
Idol worship. طيب. So now in this statement here, when he's saying يقصدون خشبة أو حجرا أو بنية على قبر أو غيره يدعون ذلك ويذبحون له ويقولون إنه يقربنا إلى الله زلفى. What is he saying, sisters? Here.
He's saying that he's basically declaring the fact that shirk is actually when you attain a blessing or something directly from those idols.
No, that's not what he's saying. Brothers, what is he saying?
He's saying that you get the idols with the stones or whatever it is, and that you seek Allah's blessing through those idols.
That's partially what he's saying. He's basically repeating everything that he was saying previously.
But
in just different words. That's all he's saying. Do you understand? He's basically repeating the same shubuhat, but he's wording them differently. All he is saying is, listen to me. He's saying, the mushrik is saying, okay, shirk is only the worship of idols. What I am doing is not shirk. All I am doing is that I am seeking through these idols or through these salihun. He may not call them idols. He may call them whatever he wants to call them. Okay? He's saying that I am seeking through them يُقَرِّبُنَا إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. They are bringing me close to Allah because I am a sinner. Remember when he used to say I'm a sinner? The same thing. He's saying because I am a sinner, okay, I'm not worthy of asking Allah directly. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ أُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ is not in his dictionary. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان is not something that is in his radar. Okay? What he's saying is that because I am a sinner, I cannot ask Allah directly due to my sins. Okay? What I need to do is I am altaji'u ila ha'ula'i. I am directing my supplication, my dua to these, okay? Because they are people who have a status in the sight of Allah, and because of the fact that they are salihun and they are righteous, so I am seeking through them nearness to Allah. Mafhum? I am seeking through them that nearness to Allah. Okay? That's all he's saying. Then he's saying that every benefit that I attain comes from Allah through them. Mafhum? So, my dua goes through them, and when Allah gives me something, it comes through them. Mafhum هذا? Where's the... Look, he's saying, look, this is what he's saying. So, naam. So he's saying, so this is the idol. Okay, let's use this as an idol. Okay, this is the mushrik. This indicates this is the mushrik. Okay, or this is the person who's worshipping or making dua to this idol. So he's saying, because I am a sinner. Okay, so this is the heavens. Okay. He's saying, because I am a sinner, my dua has to go through this. Do you understand? So I have to make dua. I cannot make dua directly to Allah. I can't. My dua has to go through this righteous person, or this qabr, or whatever. Okay? And then when Allah responds to my dua, He responds through this idol. Does that make sense? Yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving me what I'm asking because of the blessing of this idol. Okay? Naam. Yani because of the idol or through the idol. Allahu a'lam. Yani their mu'taqadat is different. It could be even through the idol. Okay? Or it could be because of the idol. It makes no difference to us. It is all shirk. Okay?
Because of the idol. Isn't he repeating himself when he says, or isn't like it being repeated in the previous same verse from the heavens and the earth?
We're not talking, I want you just to understand the shubha right now. The refutation, we have responded to it. But I want you to understand his thinking, or their thinking. So he's saying when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds, okay, it is ببركة القبر. B هنا قد تكون سببية. بسبب بركة القبر. Because of the blessing of the qabr. Because of the blessing of Abdul Qadir al-Jilani. Because of the blessing of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Meaning, if I didn't do what I did, this would not happen. If my dua didn't go through the qabr, then I would not have what I have now, which is shirk. Mafhum? Is that clearer? Who has a question? طيب. فقل طيب. So how do we respond to him now? فقل, then say to him, صدقت. You are right. وهذا يعني when he says صدقت يعني you are right, he's not acknowledging. He's basically he's not saying what you did is right. He's saying the fact that you think this is what you are doing, and you think and you have just described your action to me is correct. وهذا هو فعلكم عند الأحجار والبناء. And this is what you do in the presence of your statues, الذي على القبور, and in the presence of those يعني the structures that are erected over graves, وغيرها. فهذا, then this person أقر أن فعلهم هذا هو عبادة الأصنام. Then this person has really, as the sister just pointed out, this person has acknowledged that their action is the worship of idols. هو عبادة الأصنام وهو المطلوب. And this is what we wanted. We wanted them to acknowledge this. Okay, so all he did is he described the worship of idols. He called it يقصدون خشبة. He called it الالتجاء or القصد or الدعاء. But in reality it is عبادة. وأيضا, and also قولك, there's your statement, O mushrik, الشرك عبادة الأصنام. Your statement that shirk is the worship of idols. هو مرادك أن الشرك مخصوص بهذا. عفوا, هل مرادك أن الشرك مخصوص بهذا? يعني, do you mean by this that shirk is limited to this only? وأن الاعتماد على الصالحين ودعاءهم لا يدخل في ذلك, and that placing your trust in the dead and making supplications to them is not considered shirk. Is this what you mean? We ask for further clarification. فهذا يرده ما ذكر الله تعالى في كتابه. For indeed, if this is the case, then this is something that is rejected in the Quran. من كفر من تعلق على الملائكة وعيسى أو الصالحين, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made takfir on the one who has worshipped the malaika, the one who places their trust in the malaika and the angels, or the Prophet Isa alayhi salam, or as-salihin, or the righteous. فلا بد أن يقر لك أن من أشرك في عبادة الله أحدا من الصالحين فهو الشرك المذكور في القرآن وهذا هو المطلوب. So it is, he has no choice except to confess and to acknowledge that the shirk, that from shirk in the worship of Allah, أن من الشرك أن من أشرك عفوا فلا بد أن يقر لك أن من أشرك في عبادة الله. He has to acknowledge that whoever associates partners with Allah in his worship, associating partners, these partners could be the salihun, the righteous, then for who is shirk, then this is the exact shirk that Allah has mentioned in the Quran, and this is what we intended in the first place. Mafhum? Any questions so far? So it's really simple. صح? Any questions? طيب, let's continue. So in this section, he's going to basically just summarize for us what we just mentioned, or what he mentioned. He says, وَسِرُّ الْمَسْأَلَةِ He says, وَسِرُّ الْمَسْأَلَةِ, and the essence of this issue, أنه إذا قال, is that if he says أنا لا أشرك بالله شيئا, if he says I don't associate partners with Allah, فقل له, then say to him, وما الشرك بالله فسره لي, what is shirk in Allah? Explain it to me. فإن قال, if he says هو عبادة الأصنام, if he says هو عبادة الأصنام, it is the worship of idols. If he says it is the worship of idols, فَقُلْ لَهُ, then ask him, وَمَا عِبَادَةُ الْأَصْنَامِ, what is the worship of idols? فَسِّرْهَا لِي, explain it to me. وَإِنْ قَالَ, if he says, أَنَا لَا أَعْبُدُ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, I only worship Allah. فَقُلْ, then ask him, ما معنى عبادة الله وحده لا شريك له, what is the worship of Allah alone without associating any partners with him? فسرها لي, explain it to me. فإن فسرها, if he explains it, بما بينته, if he explains it similar to what I have explained or what I have clarified, فهو مطلوب, then this is what is requested, this is what we want. وإن لم يعرفه, if he doesn't know, فكيف يدعي شيئا وهو لا يعرفه, then how can he claim something, that he possesses this thing when he doesn't even know what it is? وإن فسرها بغير معناها, and if he explains it